Hello, Lisa Moore with More Life Capital, giving you an update on the 18 unit. So I haven't done an update for probably the last week. It's been slow with Thanksgiving, so a lot of people were just not working, lenders, insurance, things like that. In the last week, we have been going back and forth a little bit with some insurance people. We're still trying to get quotes on insurance. I did follow it up today with a number of insurance agents, trying to get quotes from them. I've gotten a quote from one, waiting to hear back on a few other ones. That one's been a kind of a struggle trying to get people to send quotes. I'm hoping it's just because it was Thanksgiving time frame and whatnot, but I'll definitely be following up and reaching out to some other insurance lenders to try and get that going and make sure we have insurance coverage for this. And on the lending side, so as I've said in other videos, the property was not as expected. And because of that, we're running into a couple lending, I don't say issues, but little speed bumps, we'll say. The lender that we were working with, he pulled a report, I'm not sure from where, but somewhere, and saw that there has been 4 evictions filed against the property, which we knew about 3. We didn't know there was a 4th. And we went with this lender because he originally had said that if they can't close on a normal commercial loan, the worst case scenario is they could do a bridge loan. And at this point, we basically have to do a bridge loan because the property will not hit any DSCR requirements because there's 3 vacant units and there's 4 evictions and a couple other units that are not paying. So we knew that we'd have to do a bridge loan. After the inspection, we found all that out. We knew we'd have to do a bridge loan, and we knew that that would be the only way that we'd be able to close on this, because a normal DSCR loan is not going to lend on that when there's that many vacancies, evictions, and issues with tenants. So talking to the lender today, they haven't said they can't lend on it, but they were a little hesitant because of the vacancy and it's not going to hit the DSCR. Yes, that's why we're doing a bridge loan. So we might have to switch to a lender that deals more with more distressed properties, because that's really what this has become as far as vacancies, where our occupancy is now, I'd have to calculate, it's below 90%. When you factor in the 6 tenants that they're in process of getting out on top of the 9, you're 50%. Because we've got 3 vacancies, and then we've got 6 tenants that are on a master lease that the seller is going to get out. So basically we're at 50% occupancy because those other 6 units aren't getting paid, but we have a master lease from them. So one of the agreements in due diligence, aside from here's a list of repairs we want, was to do a master lease for 6 of the units. So when we did the inspection, then they sent us a list. Here's the 6 units that we are working with to either evict or get out. And they had the idea of doing the master lease. So we're looking to do a master lease on those 6 units. So the master lease will pretty much guarantee that we will get paid rent from the seller on those 6 units for what the OM, the operating memorandum, which is their marketing material, what they claimed the rent was. They will pay us that amount for those 6 units. So if we can get that master lease, that really helps, because now we know that we'll have income from those 6 units. This was the fact that they didn't disclose that there is evictions going on and things like that. This was one of the negotiations that had come up and doing the master lease. So today, talking to the lender, he said that there was 4 evictions filed against the property, and I asked him if he knew which units, and he sent me the property and units, and one of those 4 evictions is not one of those 6 tenants on the master lease. So when we were negotiating, I sent 9 units that I wanted on the master lease. Their 6 plus another 3, because those 3 units were behind on rent and looking like they probably need to be evicted. They came back and said no to 2 of them. They said one of those 2, they had a reason why they're behind and they've been making payments and they're supposed to be caught up by X date. The other one, they said they can work with them and, they're trying to get caught up. The third one, they said we'll have to look into it. They haven't paid rent in 3 months. So that was not added to the master lease. And then we found out today that that is a unit that has eviction filed against it. So I emailed our attorney tonight just saying, hey, I was talking to our lender and it looks like there's another unit that has an eviction filed against it. So we need to find out if we can get that added to the master lease, because now that's another unit that's not going to be getting income from, another unit that was not disclosed to us, that was behind on rent and all that information. So we are trying to figure out with the lending what we need to do. And we definitely are going to have to do a bridge loan. We know that. And it's looking like we're probably going to have to find a lender that deals more with kind of distressed properties and properties that aren't going to hit the DSCR. When you have that many vacancies, you're not going to hit the DSCR, obviously. So we do have a couple other lenders that I've been talking to. One of them we've worked with before. They actually just closed 2 of our cash out refinances. So we know they can perform. They know our background. They know all of our info. So I have a call scheduled with them tomorrow to talk to them. The only reason I didn't originally kind of push forward with them was their bridge loan terms had more points. So they were 3 points and 11%. And the other guy was 1 point, 1%, and said, we could close this in a week if needed. So he was familiar with Chicago. He's in the Chicago area. And he was referred to us from another investor. So I thought, okay, they're in the Chicago area. They know the market and they have better terms. They came recommended. So I'll kind of start pursuing with them and see how it goes. Now it's looking like they're probably going to be a little more conservative than what is needed for a property that is in this situation. It's obviously not an ideal situation, but it's also not super uncommon that's a lot of times, one of the reasons we asked was why they're selling this property. And they had said, well, it's just, they've got over 1,000 doors and they're just trying to offload some of theirs to get some capital to redeploy. No specific reason, just randomly chose the assets. Now I question if they knew. They claim that they didn't know that it was as bad as it is. They didn't know that there's all the evictions and that far behind, and that the seller has just been finding out from his property manager all these issues as we've been going through this as well. So what the true story is, we don't know. But either way, we are dealing with this. It's not super uncommon. A lot of times people are selling because they have a lot of evictions and they're dealing with this stuff and they don't want to deal with the tenants and they're just ready to be done. So we just need to find a lender that is used to working with distressed properties and properties that need to be stabilized. So it's not something that we're concerned with. We've bought properties that have, a fourplex that had no tenants in it. I'd say most of the properties we've bought have not had. We're not at market. I don't think we've ever bought a property where all units are at market rent. We'll say that. We're normally buying ones that are vacant. Tenants are below market rent. We need to update them. That's what we do. So for us, we're not as concerned with, okay, we got to get this stabilized. We'd much rather walk into this with a bunch of empty units than a bunch of evictions. But if they're going to cover those eviction units on a master lease, that gives us that income still to know, okay, until they get those people out, they're paying us rent on that. And then as soon as those tenants are out, it'll transfer to us. So there hasn't been a ton of updates. We're still trying to work through that. And then today, finding out that there's a 4th unit that's being evicted that was not on that list. Now we're going to have to go back with our attorney and figure out, hey, what can we do here? We need to add this to the master lease. This is another unit that's under eviction. This should be on the master lease and make that the 7th unit that's on the master lease. So there's always things that pop up when you're buying properties. This has been a good one to choose to do this YouTube series on, because there's been so many issues. There's always some hurdle that we come across, and something that at some point during the deal we're going, crap, are we gonna be able to pull this off? Are we able to close on this? So we're definitely in that situation now of, okay, we've got just over 3 weeks to get this done, and That might mean, well, it definitely means the hard money loan, the bridge loan, but it might mean us trying to tomorrow really hitting it, trying to reach out to more lenders. Hey, this is basically, we have a distressed property. Will you lend on this? We need a bridge loan for 9 to 12 months. And those are very different lenders than, hey, we have a stabilized asset. Here's the financials. Please, a longer term commercial loan. So, knowing that, we'll see what happens tomorrow with a phone call with the lender that we've dealt with before. And then the other one, he's going to look at things tomorrow and let us know. But he didn't give me the confidence that they would be willing to lend on something that was really considered distressed. So it's just finding a lender. There's lenders that specialize in different things, and we just need to find a lender that is willing to do the distressed. That's typically why you do a bridge loan, because it's not going to qualify for normal financing, long-term financing. For whatever reason, it doesn't have the occupancy, there's empty units, it needs to be rehab, it's vacant, whatever it is, you're typically getting a bridge loan because as is, it will not qualify for the long-term financing. So you do a bridge loan to get it stabilized, get it at market rents, get it where you want it, and meeting those DSCR requirements, then refinance out of it. So I'm not too concerned with finding someone that'll do it. We just are on a timeline because we need to close by the end of the year. So that's going to be our big hurdle now, is just making sure we can find a lender that can close by the year end and just keep pushing forward with that. So the lending on this, because of the unexpected items that we found during due diligence, has definitely been a big, definitely the biggest challenge with closing. But lending often is. There's a lot that goes into it. The lenders are always going to be very conservative, especially now in this market. They're definitely going to be conservative, and it just makes it a little more difficult. So it's more time, it's more work to find a lender that is willing to work with you and willing to lend on these. So it's definitely, this is why I'm always looking to network with lenders and make connections, because things come up in the deals while you're under due diligence like this, and you have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to, okay, this lender can't do this anymore. All right, let me go through my list of lenders. Who can I reach out to that can help on this, or refer me to somebody that can help on this? So there's a lot of, you hit some dead ends and you got to pivot and keep going. And so that's definitely where we're at now. So be interesting tomorrow to talk to the one lender and here. So there's the two lenders that we're kind of waiting, talking to one of them tomorrow. The other one should get back to us probably not tomorrow, but maybe, what day is today? Today's by Friday. So I sent them a bunch of info tonight. He said he'll look at it tomorrow. So if he's able to look at it early enough and get back to us tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, or it'll be on Friday. So, and that's been the other thing, is trying to get the info from the seller. They wanted to see a month-by-month P&L for the last couple of years, and we just got that, I think it was yesterday. So that was another thing that the lender was wanting to see, was the month-by-month, and getting info from the seller has also been, they haven't been the quickest in sending us information. So typical things that you run into. Rarely does a transaction go perfectly smooth and not have any issues. So we will keep you updated, but that is our situation now. Just still trying to deal with the lenders, and now finding out this fourth unit under eviction, how we're going to handle that, and if we can get that added to our master lease. So we will keep you posted. And if there's something specific that you want me to go deeper into, or if you have questions that I have not answered or discussed, please let me know in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer any questions you have and go over anything that either I haven't or you want more detail on. So yeah, thank you for watching, and stay tuned. We'll keep you updated on what happens with the lending and where we go with this deal.